Local man from the Blacktown community. My family have been here since the 1950s. My ancestors have been here a little bit longer than that. I'm come into our care where we fight and feed and look after you like our own. And this is really important that I ask that if you would like to, you can come through the smoke and cleanse your connection to. I want to share that I'm also very proud to be from the Wiradjuri, Yuan, Yampa and the Coombe.
Hello viewers, good morning to you. It is a bright morning and blue skies on Saturday 8th May. I'm in the city of Blacktown, City Council Hall, 2 hours drive from the heart of Sydney. Today, the Sri Lankan Association of New South Wales, in collaboration with the Blacktown City Council and Multicultural NSW, are having a multicultural diversity event. What will be clear is that the Australian Sri Lankans in New South Wales have been assimilated into the multicultural community forms part of the Australian government. And this event today will provide sufficient evidence of that unity. Let us join. Hope you will enjoy the day as much as I do.
I would like to invite Councillor Kathy Collins from Blacktown Council. She's representing the Mayor and our host today. This hall, we are here today because of the gracious reception to us for holding this event by Blacktown Council. And Blacktown Council is being very helpful to the Sri Lanka Association in a number of ways. Jai Pittman. May I also invite Tracy, you can have a share with Wonderland together. Miss Jody Mackay. No. President Sri Lanka Association, Ms. Nanika Patnasena. Mr. Susai Benjamin, Councillor and Chair of the Multicultural Advisory Committee, Blacktown Council. Ms. Thida Young, representative of the Multicultural New South Wales, and also another great supporter of the Sri Lanka Association. Please join us to light the national or the oil lamp. Ms. Darshini Pereira, Community Development Officer, Older People, representing Senior Citizens Advisory Committee, and she was instrumental in helping us in Indrani Vijayasekara, Sri Lanka Association Senior Subcommittee. She's one of the most active members and for the as far as the seniors events goes. So she and her 2 colleagues, Swarna and Cicely, are the backbone of this event. Dr. Harold Gunatillake, one of the oldest representatives of the Sri Lankan community, seniors community. Please join us in lighting the oil lamp. Miss Melissa Montero, she's not here. Shannon Wright, CEO's Seniors Rights Service. Invite the keynote speaker, the Age Discrimination Commissioner, Dr. Kate Patterson.
People for their custodianship of this land. We are a united city. We respect this land and we value the contribution to our community and culture of all people of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander heritage. On behalf of the Mayor of Blacktown City, Tony Bleasdale, OAM, It is an honour to be here today, and a big welcome to you all. Particularly, I thank Jai, who has now, I think, gone, and his group for their wonderful smoking ceremony and his wonderful welcome to country. As an ordinary person, I can't do that welcome. Only the Aboriginal people can do it. And it is always something that causes me to think deeply about where we've come from and where we're going. When we think that we have in our room someone who has a heritage, can acknowledge a heritage of 60,000 years. That to me is absolutely amazing. So I also thank the Sri Lankan Association of New South Wales, and in particular the President, Lanka, for inviting me here today and putting on this wonderful multicultural luncheon. And this is the second one I've been to. I've been to a big one in here a couple of weeks ago at a dinner, and I could not believe the gathering that we had with multicultural groups in Blacktown. I'm told today we will also be recognising the outstanding achievements of some of the young people in our community, which is, I think, very exciting. And I'd like to acknowledge some of the distinguished guests with us today. The Consul General of Sri Lanka, unfortunately, was not able to attend. The Age Discrimination Commissioner, the Honourable Dr. Kay Patterson, AO. The State Opposition Leader, Jodie Mackay, which I understand she's trying to get here, but she's here, terrific. Multicultural, and my fellow councillors, Susai Benjamin, who is not here now, but I understand he will endeavour to be here a little later. And I'd also like to acknowledge Tito Young, Multicultural New South Wales. Tito, thank you very much for coming. And last but not least, the whole of you, but particularly Lawrence, from the librarian, who has mentioned the business of having your language books in the library. Let me tell you, our aim is to have a collection of books in every language that we have in Blacktown.
It means thank you today, but a long time ago we never had a word for thank you in our culture. And we never had a word for please in our culture. Because it was forbidden for us to not share. It was forbidden. And we never had a word for please because we never had to beg, because we had an abundance of everything. And it was forbidden for us to not share. So Digitigor is a word that means today thank you, but it also means thank you when moving on to the next part. So I'd like to say in my language, Digitigor, and that's a word that we use from the salt water in Sydney all the way up to the mountains, and that's a very, very beautiful word of saying thank you, and we're very, very grateful. So can everyone...
I don't know whether you can see me. I'm terribly sorry I'm not able to be with you today. I'm in Canberra and acknowledge the Nullarbor peoples as the traditional owners of the land from which I'm speaking today. I set out from Melbourne to go to Canberra for some meetings with every intention of being in Sydney to help you, but you'll understand you've had a couple of community transmissions of COVID, and if I come to Sydney I may not be able to get back to Melbourne to my home. So I'm speaking to you from Canberra today. My deepest apologies. I'm going to shorten my speech because I've seen from your program you're running well behind time. But I've got a couple of messages. One is that sadly ageism is alive and well in Australia. And those of us who are older, especially all of us, those of you who are older today at the gathering, we have a responsibility to actually break the myths about older people. And we need to promote the things that we do, the caring for families, partners, grandchildren, still working many of us, volunteering, doing things in the community. We have to beat that ageism, because one of the dreadful, dreadful, dreadful outcomes of ageism is elder abuse. And that has increased during COVID. People moving back into home with their parents and starting to bully them or demand money. And some of the stories I hear on a daily basis make my hair curl. That older Australians, irrespective of their culture or their background, are being abused either financially or physically or psychologically, and sometimes sadly even sexually. And all of us need to be alert to the fact that we can actually seek help or seek help for other people.
And paying our respect to the Dara people, Eora Nation, and their elders, past and present. The land and their culture provide us over 65,000 years history that enriches with multiculturalism. I also acknowledge the presence of Jai Pittman and his son, and thank you for your special smoking ceremony. Your presence today bridged the gap for the long journey that we envisage to create with respect and understanding. I feel so proud and honoured to stand here for the second time to welcome you all to the Sri Lanka Association Seniors Luncheon. Last year, we were lucky to hold the event on 29th of February 2020. Ever since, we have been in lockdown, but successfully managed to hold online weekly sessions until we come back on last couple of months at Tennant Hills Learning and Leisure Centre. Sri Lanka Association of New South Wales, formally incorporated in 1973, to be an inclusive organisation with a prime aim to provide a common meeting ground for all Sri Lankans living in New South Wales, regardless of their ethnic and religious background. Our vision is to build social cohesion, innovation and sustainability through broader partnerships. Today's event is evidence of our collaboration. For our community to be visible and to grow, we require to reach out to build partnerships. We need to build the capacity of people. We need to protect the rights of our community and make allowance for individuals who are needing support for an opportunity to air their concerns in a safer manner. We are living in a society where the basic democratic principles are upheld and the multiculturalism enshrined. The social structure is that success to various services for any concern is a phone call away. Starting from your local council and the number of grassroots services who are here with us today. You may remember in March 2021, we launched our Sri Lanka Association Women's Network. Through this, we intend to engage our community to build the capacity through leadership and to provide a safer platform to discuss and raise awareness of many taboo topics. We have started conversation in eco-solutions and environment-friendly alternatives. We have held webinars and planning a series of activities. During last 2 years, the organization made a conscious decision to combine both annual Seniors Luncheon and High Achievers Award so that it creates a pathway to generational interaction. At the award ceremony, we recognize, encourage and reward extraordinary achievements of our young Australians of Sri Lankans. Our objective is to encourage them to be role models for the society and for others. Annual Seniors Luncheon is the celebration of the journey of you all, the seniors members and well-wishers of the Sri Lanka Association. This year, we extended it to the senior members from multicultural communities in Western Sydney. Seniors in our society have made considerable contributions and sacrifices today to establish the identity in the society, our own cultures. We all members of this multicultural society making difference in this broader Australian society. Organisation next aim is to build the youth leadership. We are currently working on a number of initiatives in this front. Currently, we have a student sponsorship program under which 47 underprivileged students from all 9 provinces in Sri Lanka chosen to support with their schooling. We are looking at streamlining this program where our high achievers will be able to have some interactions. Finally, I cannot go without mentioning the loss of our Vice President 2 months ago, who was a great asset to our organization as well as to our community. The current committee is planning to introduce a new category to the High Achievers selection by adding an excellence in legal studies in human rights or international law in his memory. We will be discussing this at our next AGM. I hope you will be able to enjoy the day amidst of new COVID restrictions. Please consider your safety as well as the safety of others and keep your mask on all the times. Thank you very much.
जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा, रोके जमाना चाहे रोके खुदा तुमको आना पड़ेगा, जो वादा किया वो निभाना पड़ेगा, ये माना हमें जाते जाना
I'm delighted that the Sri Lankan Association of New South Wales put on such a wonderful program today. It's a fantastic, and not only the Sinhalese, the Tamils, the Burghers of Sri Lanka, but also people from various other cultures and religions being present here. And I'm a councillor, and I recognize the councillor Collins has been here, made a speech representing the mayor. I'm not speaking much about the council role because I wear many hats. I'm sorry I'm late because my team of over 30-40 volunteers, we run a free legal clinic of which Nalika is very much a part. So I was busy with that. So I want to say 2 things. One is about the great Blacktown festival. It's happening end of this month, and anyone who's interested in a brochure, I've got a few brochures and I can give them to you. So if they're interested, please see me during lunch break. That's one thing I want to say. The second,
But I believe in Sri Lanka we we have had gender equality for many, many years, where we have broken the glass ceiling with having queens and the first woman prime minister in the 60s. So I hope one day you will also become a state premier. With that, is Gunatillake.
Look, thank you everyone. I so much appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today. Let me start by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to elders past and present. I want to acknowledge our councillors. I know Kathy, Suzai and any other councillor who may be here that I may have missed. But I wanted to be here today to thank the Sri Lanka Association for the incredible work they do in the community. And in particular, I want to acknowledge Nalika, who's my good friend. Nalika is everywhere. And I was just talking to Shannon from the Senior Rights Service, and Nalika is involved with that organisation. But she's one person that reaches out to everyone to make sure that everyone is included and everyone is looked after. So I acknowledge the Sri Lanka Association today and thank them for the very kind invitation to be here. I wanted to be here today as well to acknowledge the contribution that our seniors community has made during what has been a very difficult time here, not just here in New South Wales, but around the country. And during the pandemic, I want to tell you what I saw. I saw seniors who had to obviously go into isolation, who were cut off, who were disconnected from the community because we needed to keep them safe. But what I also saw was our older community stepping up to help those who were really doing it tough. And by that I mean, in particular, our seniors, of course, but also those on a temporary visa and our international students. And they went through a terrible time because they didn't receive any government support. And I know many of you were involved in just reaching out, making sure that they were receiving support, in particular food. Many of you participated in those efforts. So can I just say sincerely thank you. Thank you for being there for those who really did it tough. And I am, as a leader of the opposition in New South Wales and the leader of the Labor Party, very proud to know so many of you in this room that did step up and reach out. And this is what I know about our seniors community, that whatever background you're from, wherever you live, how much money you have, the language you speak, the food you eat, the religion you practice, that you do everything you can to make sure we are a cohesive society that is demonstrative of inclusion and compassion. And that leadership comes from our seniors first and foremost. Many of you have been in this country for a very long time. Some of you were even born in this country. But you cherish and treasure what this country gives each of us. And you do that through your leadership in particular. So can I just say, I'm so sorry I was a little bit late and couldn't participate in the lamp lighting. I was actually celebrating Buddha's birthday today in Cabramatta. And in closing, I just want to acknowledge any in our Muslim community who may be here. It's Ramadan. I'll be celebrating Iftar again this evening with our Muslim community. So again, thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to celebrate Seniors Week. I celebrated it in my electorate during the week, and Shannon was there acknowledging those in my community who've just excelled and contributed so much. So thank you sincerely for all you do for our community. It's so much appreciated.
Achievers Awards. It gives me tremendous pride to represent a diverse community who, regardless of their age or background, strive to make Western Sydney a better place to live, work and raise a family. It's been an incredibly difficult year for many in our community as we grapple with the lingering impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic. And it brings me great joy to know that events like these can now proceed in a COVID-safe way because of the sacrifices taken by each and every person in attendance today. Thank you for following the best health advice and doing all you can to help limit the spread of the virus. And while I'm disappointed to be unable to attend today, please accept my very best wishes and heartfelt congratulations. Thank you to the Sri Lanka Association on the organisation of this event and for the important work that you do every day to bring our communities together. We're made richer by your efforts. I do hope you enjoy today's celebration and I look forward to gathering with you in the not too distant future. Thank you.
It's